Welcome everybody to another stream with me, Supernautus, playing Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars. This is the director's cut. We've reached the stage where we're looking for the murderer. We know his name. His name's Khan. Or is it Merlin? Well, some people know him by various names. We just know he's a bad man, and we need to stop him. Let's get going. Let's carry on where we left off. We're trying to get this key off the wall here, which, from what I understand, is the key to the room next door to the murderer we're looking for, the costume killer, Mr. Khan. And so, well, look at what we have left to look at in here, which is this little booklet on the desk.
There was no one registered under the name of Khan, but the name in the book for room 22 was Merlin.
So there we are, Merlin. Merlin. The man who likes to dress as a mime. This is the key we need. And this is the clerk who won't let us have it.
Monsieur?
I'd like a room key, please.
I'd like to check into room 21.
That is not possible.
How come? You said it was vacant.
It is reserved for another guest.
Rats.
No, monsieur. Dutch.
Well, I'm not going to say anything about that. Rats, indeed. Okay, so, you know, he's not going to just give us the key happily. So we just need to carry on. Across here. This old lady that keeps playing the piano. She's aristocracy, I'll have you know.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Can you help me get this room key?
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
Oh, no. It's the key to an empty room.
And why, may I ask, do you wish to gain access to an empty room? Do you plan to squat?
No, ma'am.
Party.
Scout honor?
I was never in the Boy Scouts, ma'am.
Oh, you should have been. What were your parents thinking of?
Oh my.
It's a fine way for a boy to get licked into shape. Now tell me,
It's just
why
disturbing.
do you want to get into that room?
It's next to the room the killer is using.
Ah, so you plan to eavesdrop on Merlin?
I was hoping there might be a connecting door.
Well, how can I refuse? I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case, but a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick.
English arrogance, well. I'm not going to say anything about that, guys. That would just be a silly thing for me to do.
I say! You there! Flunky!
Oui, madame.
Listen carefully. You do understand English, don't you?
But of course,
No.
madame.
Good.
He isn't speaking it at
I
all.
wish to deposit some jewelry for safekeeping.
I understand.
Are you quite certain?
Oh, bien sûr, madame.
He does understand. He's certain that he understands.
Over to you, my dear.
Over to you, indeed. Over to George to finally grasp that key. Head upstairs. So we're looking for room 21. This being
The door was
locked. And this being room...
Sign on the door read 21.
Ah, there we go. Room 21. Room 22 is the room of Khan or Merlin, depending on how you want to name him. So we need to use our key
The sign on the door read 21.
on 21.
Maybe
Blackjack,
it wasn't
eh?
the right room, but this was the right key.
And we're in. Don't see any adjoining doors. We do have a window. More, we're going to have ledge crawling. George crawling on ledges.
There was nothing in the wardrobe apart from a vague, lingering smell of camphor.
Well, at least it doesn't smell like body odor, hey? Could be a lot worse, let's be honest. Bedside cabinet will have the old Bible in it, of course.
The cabinet was empty, but it smelt of onions. No kidding, it really did.
Well, that's the hotel's onion storage drawer. Isn't it? That's what I find next to beds in hotels. Let's get some air in this stuffy old room. Still a bit stuffy though, eh? Let's just make our way outside. That's a dizzying height. A dizzying height for George. Come on, George. Let's get moving. Into this window here of room 22. Let's hope we don't find a murderer inside. Come on, George. You could do it. So here we are. This is Mr. Merlin's room. The room of our costumed killer. Or so we're led to believe. Rifling in his cushions.
The bed was freshly made, and the crisp white sheets told me nothing about the killer's habits.
Well, maybe he likes to sleep.
It was the battered leather briefcase I'd seen Plantar carry just before he died. I searched
Plantar's
the interior of the
briefcase.
But as I'd half expected, it was empty.
So it's interesting, guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but the segments of the game, excuse me, the segments of the game that are obviously the classic kind of segments of the game, the sound quality is just a little bit less strong, I guess. The director's cut elements are obviously clearer and sharper. They've got, a bit more kind of quality to them, I suppose, in a way that
the closet was a solid, impressive piece.
The rest of the game just sounds a bit old, as it is. A solid piece of antique furniture. Is this the extent of what we're going to find in here? We're just going to find some antique furniture. Oh no, there is another thing to click on. There are two little blue rings here. And both of them appear to open and close this door. Which is interesting.
The closet was a solid, impressive piece of antique furniture.
So you can see, there's... Am I imagining that there was a second one there? Maybe I am.
The bed was several times larger than the narrow cot I'd been given at the place I was staying.
So, we have this bedside onion drawer. According to the previous room, at least.
The assassin had
Who
been
keeps
too
onions in a
smart
drawer,
to
hey?
leave incriminating evidence beside his bed.
So where is he leaving the incriminating evidence, George? Because surely he must have some. But if he has, he's keeping it well hidden. What's this going to do? Will it close the door again? Because that's not helpful. Okay. Well, there's not much to see in the room. So I guess maybe we're barking up the wrong tree right now. Well, let's move over and see.
It was Khan.
Oh no.
I had the kind of feeling in my stomach.
He hasn't even opened the door and he knows it's
Run
him.
into the bathroom.
I will run to the wardrobe instead.
As Khan opened
Oh
the
no,
wardrobe,
hand him out
I
his
was
suit.
sure I was dead. But he grabbed his pants quickly and didn't even see me.
He grabbed his pants.
I didn't usually spy on men getting changed. But this guy was a
But this
killer.
was
I
strangely
didn't want
enjoyable.
any surprises. He left his
Apparently.
checkered pants on the bed.
His checkered pants. Only his pants are checkered, of course, not his past. He didn't leave his checkered past on the table. On the bed either. So let's have a look. We've got his green pants. Senor Green Pants. And look at all these stains. You know, he's obviously been creeping through sewers, for example. Zip fly, no buttons for this man. And look, we've got a stitched up pocket.
A strip along the side seam of the pants had been unpicked, then sewn back up with strong thread and a special stitch.
Doesn't look very special, I have to be honest.
I had that kind of feeling you only get from searching still warm pants. There was
Well,
nothing
okay,
in the pocket.
nothing in his pockets. At least not in that pocket. Let's try the other
The
pocket.
was empty.
Also empty. So, turn them over
Put the pants over.
and check the back pockets.
I found an ordinary matchbook. No matches, no clues.
With
but as I pulled it from the pocket,
a
a
D.
strong thread came with it. A thread with a metal tag on the end.
Oh yes. That I can see just here.
I pulled on the metal tag.
Looked almost
and the
like a
thread came out of
tampon.
the pants. It was like pulling out a ripcord.
Sorry, that was a little much perhaps. We pulled out a ripcord. And what do we have? We have
The matchbook bore
Matchbook.
a pattern of swirling color and the words Club Alamut.
Club Alamut. I think Alamut, surely. George, you uncultured swine.
I found nothing in the pocket.
Nothing in the other pocket. So we got a matchbook. We took a silver metal tab from the top left of his waistband, of course. And that really seems to be about it.
I turned the pants over again.
Because we had to do that. We have to keep turning them over. You never know. So what else is there? Is there anything else interesting? Oh. Ah, the metal tab undid the stitches.
I searched the
Give us
pocket
some
gingerly
rubbers.
and found a pass card. It read Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation.
Oh, it didn't say rubber, it said Gruber. Yeah. So now we have some more information
It was the card I'd found in the hotel bedroom.
about Thomas Merlin.
It read Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics Corporation.
So that's interesting. But I think that's all we're going to find in Mr. Merlin's boudoir. So let's get out of here. I hear the strains of piano once more. So our aristocratic friend is back to tickling the ivories.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can
Hello,
I do for you now?
George. Can you tell me anything about this?
I found this pass in Merlin's room.
So, that deceitful little man is passing himself off as an electrician, is he?
Yes.
Uh-huh. This guy probably has a million faces.
He has a million faces. I don't know if he knows a million people to copy the faces of, but he has a million faces. Does she know anything about matchbookses and matchbookses? Matchbookses, that's a new one for me.
I found
Matchbooks.
this matchbook in Merlin's bedroom.
Do you know where this
It
place
came
is?
from the Club Alamut. It might be useful to find out if that club is in Paris, George.
Do you think so? I wasn't too sure. I wasn't too sure. Okay, so does she want the
This
key
is
to
the
a
key
hotel
room
room?
21.
That's next to the room taken by that rotten Merlin, isn't it?
Yes, and it's vacant.
Really? How convenient.
Maybe it was my imagination, but I had an uncomfortable feeling about this situation.
There's many things
yeah.
to be uncomfortable about, George. Many, many things. Now, we've exhausted all those options with her before, and he doesn't like to give her a little electric hand buzzer, so that's a shame, but no matter. We will progress over here. We don't really want to be too obvious about the fact that we've just been rifling through people's rooms. But let's speak to the clerk about our discoveries.
What now, monsieur?
What now, monsieur? I
Does
typically,
this pass mean anything to you?
That is Monsieur Merlin's property.
rude person.
That's right. Merlin the murderer. I want to see what he's left in your safe.
Impossible.
It's pretty poor
I
alliteration,
cannot
really.
betray his confidence, no matter what you say he's done.
You're making a big mistake.
He's dipped babies in
Maybe.
baths full of
I
acid
can
and
live with
stick
that.
them on
A
poles and...
murderer? Are you
I'm
sure?
still not going to give you any information. Oh, you have a video? No. I cannot give up my guests.
Does this match
That's
book
a
mean anything
good
to you?
hotel.
No, monsieur.
I'm sorry, that was quite an extreme suggestion. Of course, he's not going to do such a thing. Well, let's hope. We've hit on bad news, folks.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
You can tell me why. You didn't tell me enough about
I
this.
showed the pass to the clerk, hoping he'd give me Merlin's papers, but he wouldn't buy it. He's too scared.
Oh,
I'll give him something to be
Oh, no.
scared of. Follow me, George.
he's terrified of a slightly overweight English woman in a purple dress.
Did you place a package from Merlin in the hotel safe?
I
Oh my
did,
goodness,
And
really?
did my friend here show you Merlin's identification?
madame. Indeed he did, but
What's the problem?
he isn't
Well,
Merlin.
what's the problem?
And the academic detail.
Well,
Give him the package.
It's
But
slightly more than
that
an
is
academic
against the
detail.
law.
I happen to be a justice of the peace, you silly man.
Yeah, but
I
in
am the
France?
law. If he tries anything, shoot him, George.
My pleasure, Lady Piermont.
One moment, please.
One moment, please.
I haven't enjoyed myself this much since Greenham Common.
I don't know what I would have done without you, Lady Piermont.
It's back to the piano stylings
Voilà,
of Lady
monsieur.
Piermont.
Le manuscrit de Monsieur Merlin.
Thanks.
Merci.
How satisfying. An Anglo-American
Uh-huh.
alliance that actually worked.
The clerk had given me a tightly rolled
We're not going to
sheet
get many of
paper.
those these days.
I decided not to unroll it until I was safely back in Nico's
Oops.
apartment.
So we're not allowed to unroll it until we go back to Nico's apartment. But does that? I guess that's where we're going. Let's get out of this hotel.
I couldn't leave the hotel with the manuscript. It was probably what those thugs were looking for.
Ahaha. He's made a guess about what those gangsters hanging around outside were doing. So we're going to go back to room 21. Can we go into room 21, George? Not stand facing sideways in the corridor. Thank you very much. So we need to get this manuscript out of the hotel without those gangsters seeing it. So I guess we drop it down into the street.
The cobbles of the alleyway looked very distant and very hard.
Hard cobblestone. Just what we need for dropping manuscripts onto. Yes? No? Yes.
I knew this was no way to treat an ancient manuscript, but I couldn't let it fall into the hands
George,
of the goons
I'm sure you're going to
with
treat
us.
many things poorly. Many things poorly as we progress. The manuscript now lies on the ground, awaiting George's sweaty hand. So let's go, let's get out of here. Let's escape from the hotel, because our time here is through. This guy is some sort of... he's a Nobel Prize winning scientist, and the murderer, he knows who he is.
Just a minute.
Ah,
monsieur.
see?
What's your problem?
No problem.
Accosted by
What do you
Italian
want?
stereotypes.
Routine security check. Nothing to worry yourself about.
Oh, well, all right.
Search him, Flap.
You bet.
What are you looking for? No, no, don't touch that.
Hey, knock it off. Get off, you big ape.
Nothing, Guido. Zilch.
Our apologies.
Nothing, Guido.
What? I ought to report you to the authorities.
Round here, we are the
Uh-huh.
authorities.
So you say.
Want I should break his arms?
No. Let him go, Flap.
Flap and Guido seem like such nice gentlemen, don't they? Joke's on you guys. Because this is what you were looking for all along.
If the manuscript was what Flap and Guido were after, they were going to be disappointed.
Guido and Flap.
I couldn't wait to get back to Nico's apartment and
Sounds like some sort of Disney double act. Guido and Flap.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi.
Hi, how are ya? Hey. I'm here about the plumbing. No, it's not that kind of game. Come on, guys.
I found this matchbook in the killer's hotel room. It's from the Club Alamut.
Never heard of it. Is there anything written inside it?
No, what were you expecting?
Just matches.
If this was a movie, there'd be a clue. A name or an address. That's no
It's not a
use.
movie, is
There aren't
it?
even any matches in it.
Oh well.
It's
I'll
life,
keep it as a
guys. It's
souvenir.
life. How about the Gruber
I found
card?
this in the killer's room.
What is it? A credit card?
Yes,
ID.
yeah, it's a
Thomas
credit card.
Merlin of the Gruber
He left it
Electronics
behind.
Corporation.
Never heard of him or the company.
Yes, but he's your killer. You silly person.
What are you doing to help trace the killer clown?
It's just
Research,
stayed in a
George.
room.
Yeah?
Come
You
on.
have a copy of the clown's yearbook?
I have a telephone and lots of contacts.
Oh. Well, did you find anything useful?
Not yet.
No.
I'm employing my first and most useful weapon.
What's
Coffee.
Patience.
that? Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't it a substitute for decisive thinking?
That's the one. That's the one.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Not
Oh,
anymore.
George.
There was someone,
Come on,
a guy in
George.
my final year, but it didn't work.
You're so desperate,
Needed my
man.
degree.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
George is thirsty, guys. Thirsty old George. I think she'd like to have her hand buzzed.
Hey, Nico, shake hands with me.
Come on,
No
it'll be
chance,
good.
Buster.
Nobody likes to fall. Nobody's falling for that, man.
Tell me more about your family.
When I was a little girl, I used to spend the winter with my grandfather and grandma.
That's interesting. Let's
They were
move
the
on.
best times, warm and safe in their tiny cottage. My grandfather rolled cigarettes while grandma made hot chocolate and cakes. One day, he stopped his groaning. He put the lid back on his tobacco jar and took me in his arms.
Blew smoke
I
right in her
laughed and
face.
wriggled, but he hushed me to be silent.
No.
With his unshaven chin all scratchy in my ear, he told me his secret.
I like to
He said,
stab
I
monkeys.
don't smoke.
No,
She likes
that's,
to think
that's not
I
what he
do.
whispered.
What a weird old man.
Don't call my grandfather weird. He was the nicest guy ever. I wish I was back in that cottage instead of this crummy apartment
Maybe he
in
was.
this noisy city.
Maybe he liked to attack primates. Let's hope not. My goodness.
You're just not going to believe what I've found.
It's not another part of the clown's costume, is it?
He's found a life.
It's a medieval
He's got one after all these
manuscript.
years.
Khan left it in the safe at the U-boot.
It's incredible. Is this what he took from Plantar?
It could be, which means
We don't
it's
know
worth
because we
enough
didn't
to
see in his
kill
briefcase.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
them. Oh yeah, maybe they couldn't afford one each. What of it?
Have you ever
Maybe.
heard of the Knights Templar? Their
Yes,
official
everyone's
seal
heard of the Knights
was
Templar
an
these
image
days.
of two knights sharing a horse. Whatever this manuscript means, it's connected with the Templars.
How come you know about these knights?
I learned about them while writing an article on the Crusades.
And she has family members who historically fought against them. No.
This guy, named Hughes de Payen, arrived one day at the court of King of Jerusalem. He
Listen to some
offered
history,
to
guys.
take the Christian pilgrims from the displaced Muslim armies. The king would be able to guarantee safe transit to Christians in the Holy Land. Safer journeys meant more pilgrims, and pilgrims meant trade and wealth. The Templars
Hey, yeah.
were valuable to the king as a mercenary army. It was said that they never asked how many the enemy numbered, just where they were. And as the years went by, the Templars grew in wealth and numbers. They were so rich. Even kings
This is all, of
and
course,
lords.
speculation on your
They
behalf.
wanted their power. They fell foul of the King of France. He rounded them up
He
and
burned them
turned
all.
forward the Inquisition. Thousands of Templars were subject to torture
And purging fire.
heresy. Of course, at the end of the Inquisition,
Heretics.
there wasn't much they wouldn't confess to.
Imagine building a big tower like that just to hang people
Martin
in.
was burned alive.
Jeez. So the treasure is hidden, waiting to be
Well,
discovered?
if it exists,
If
yes.
there ever was a treasure, it's been lost for 600 years.
Oh, it's on Oak Island, guys. Oak Island.
Supposed to be
That's where it is.
investigating a
Oak
serial
Island.
killer, not a medieval
I
treasure
just haven't
trove.
found it yet.
But maybe that's what the clown.
I mean,
and
really,
his
has anyone
accomplices
seen that
are
show?
after. Maybe this man.
We're gonna find treasure this time.
You'd better leave it here.
No, we
for
haven't found any
safekeeping.
treasure this series. Come back next series for more hunting for treasure that doesn't exist. Tell me more.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Do we need to? Is it going to tell us anything new?
Look there. Two guys on the
Two
same
guys
horse.
on the Zemors. Huh? I don't really think there's much more we can do. There's like a gem there.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
The only mythological bull I know of is the Minotaur, but he was only half bull.
Or there's
I
like the
don't
ones
think
that
I'd like to be
Hercules...
half a bull, even if it was the bottom half.
No,
What's
no,
that
those were
object
horses.
between them?
Sorry.
It looks like a gem on top of a tripod.
It is a gem on top of a tripod, George. Well spotted.
There's a guy working on a loom. He's weaving a carpet or a tapestry.
Or a duvet cover. It's a clue to a place,
It's
I
a
reckon.
duvet cover.
Somewhere famed for weaving and ships.
Where folk live in barrels?
It beats copper
Mm.
boxes.
Weaving and ships.
There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror.
3 reflections.
The reflection has 3 hideous faces.
She reminds me of the Wicked Queen in Snow White.
She was the one who
Does
said,
she?
"Mirror, mirror on the wall," wasn't she? She made me cry so much when I was a kid. Mom carried me out of the movie theater.
She didn't frighten me.
You woos.
Like I said, I was only a kid. I didn't like the crocodile in Peter Pan either.
You were a Captain Hook sympathizer, weren't you, George?
A knight with a crystal ball. Now, there's something written on the scroll beside the knight.
Yes, but it's written in Latin. Per disciplinum mea
Looks vidibis.
videbis.
By my teachings, you will see the light.
You speak
George is
Latin?
quite awkward most of the
Where did
time,
you
and
learn
yet
a trick like that?
suddenly he's a
Trick?
Latin
I
scholar.
studied law, okay? I can read Latin.
My, you're touchy. Tell me that again.
I studied law,
Let's
okay?
face it, we need help, George. Someone who knows about these things.
Who do you suggest? Indiana Jones?
Yeah, well, someone
I know a
real,
guy who
eh? Someone
specializes
real.
in medieval studies.
He's too
He
busy getting
lives
launched
in
around in
London.
refrigerators.
Huh. Some stuffy old fossil who gets horny over ancient relics, I suppose.
Far from it. Andre isn't the stereotypical professor you have in mind.
Where can I find this Lobino guy?
At the Krön Museum. I'll give you the address.
Will it be that hard to find that you need to give me the address? Thanks for that. What else have you got to say about... No, we don't want more manuscript looking. Let's get to this
I have to
museum.
go.
Okay.
Let's
Don't
speak to
forget
this
look for Lobino at the
gentleman.
Krön Museum.
Mr. Lobineau. And we go off screen. Exit scene, stage left. So the museum, we have some areas that are now no longer accessible because I guess we don't need to go there. We want to go to La Musée Krön. And the only thing we can do here is enter the door. Yeah, that looks familiar. It's a tripod. No, that's not what they call George on his days off. Come on, guys, really? Let's speak to the
Pardon
security
me,
guard.
Oui, monsieur?
Are you Lobino?
Oh, no. Fancy
Why-
you're mistaking me
He's-
for him. No.
Clearly,
I am
a
the
security
secretary.
guard.
Custodian.
But Lobino does work here.
Work?
Mm.
I
The-
wouldn't go so far as to call it that. He studies here most days.
I don't know, man.
You can see for yourself. Not today.
Does that mean he's here, or does that mean he's just here but he's not working? Have you seen
Do
this
you know
before?
anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar. Although people often mistake me for one. It
You
is
sure?
the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to park.
Mm.
No, no, no.
No, validate
You-
parking.
I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar, not like Monsieur Lobino.
Is that a good thing? Ask about the Templars. Do we know about the Knights Templar? Will we ask him and he'll say that he has to kill us?
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not as
Not
such.
a sausage. You're quite useless to me then, really, aren't you?
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamut?
Oh, no. I don't frequent places like that.
Is that in like Morocco or something?
Do you recognize this ID pass? No.
Okay. You don't recognize much.
Thanks for your help.
Can we call it that? Can we call it help, though? George, can we really call it help? You can open a window. I don't know why we'd need to open a window, but we can. And now we find
In the case was a spindly
tripod.
blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript.
How we could tell on an ancient manuscript was something drawn poorly.
It had been found in Lochmar at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory. Ireland!
What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
Well done, you can
have
read.
to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry.
Nobody else wants to learn history. Come on, George. Keep your voice down. If you get excited, everyone might get excited. We can't have that. Not in a museum. Got a totem pole that's about to fall over. Why would you do that, George? Why would you rock a totem pole?
The totem pole looked distinctly out of place in the setting of the museum.
What else looks out of place? King Tutankhamun? Anyone in there?
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3,000 years old.
Is it a closet? I think you'll find it's a sarcophagus.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus.
Exactly,
The
George.
attendant had an air of self-importance and the kind of steely eyes that never seemed to blink.
You're right. My
It was
goodness.
an ancient Egyptian sarcophagus with a beautifully painted effigy of its owner on the lid.
So does he know anything about these exhibits? Do you know anything
Pardon
about these
me?
exhibits,
Oui, monsieur?
my friend? What can you tell me about the tripod? And it's not what your friends called you in the dressing rooms.
Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod,
Infamous?
that belonged to John D.
John D.
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemists?
Yeah.
Escapologists
Yeah.
use ropes, chains, and
Why are you
handcuffs
asking a security guard?
tripods.
Well, whatever it was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
Were you there? Were you there? Can you really say that he used that in his experiments? You weren't there.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh,
My goodness.
The usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over
Did you?
traumatology. Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah,
no.
That tripod is protected by a sophisticated surveillance
Is it your eyes?
How sophisticated?
Is it your eyes?
painfully loud alarm bell.
Painfully loud? We'll have to test that theory.
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest
George.
pressure on or movement.
Can't be so
of
obvious about
any part
your
of the
intent to
case
steal.
wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
It's simple. It's a simple alarm system. Hey, do you want to shake my hand?
Would you like to shake my hand?
Not while I'm on duty, monsieur.
Might catch germs and that might be unprofessional. Have you ever seen this guy?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. Is there any reason why I should?
Well, he could have come here,
I guess not.
but I guess he might not have.
Thanks for your help.
So there's not much to do there. We know this tripod was in the manuscript, the tapestry. The manuscript? This tripod was in the manuscript. Yeah, that's what we want to say. So we can leave the museum for now. Security guard doesn't help much in that regard. And let's move to the map. So not much we can tell Nico, but obviously she wants to be updated on everything that's going on. So Rue Jarry. Again, I'm sorry about my pronunciations, guys. I'm not French.
Hi. I've been to the Crew Museum.
Did you speak to Labinot?
No.
No.
He wasn't there.
He wasn't working today. It was his day off. Or maybe he took a sick day. I really don't know.
I
Tripod.
found the tripod.
Where?
In the museum. It belonged to the Templars. It was dug up in Ireland at a place called Loch Marn.
Guess where we're going, guys.
I read an article about the castle. Take a look for yourself.
A popular gossip magazine. You read that rubbish?
No, I write it.
That's even worse.
Professor Nigel Pegram, excavating the medieval castle at Loch Marn. That's strange.
What?
He resigned his chair at Durham University
In order to devote his time to the excavation.
Not only that,
He obviously
but
found
he
something of
cancelled
great
the filming of
importance.
the fourth series of his popular television program.
What was his television
This site
program
at Loch
called? I'd
Marn
love
must
to
be
know.
Awful important to him.
He's a professor of history. They're all cuckoo.
All the same, I'd like to talk to this Professor Pegram. How do you
Professor
feel about
P-Brain.
the trip to Ireland?
Disappointed.
Huh?
That I won't be going. I want to follow up the Bellotta case. If you
could
really
go.
think Picram's gem is important, why don't you visit Lochmarn?
On my own? I'm not so sure about that.
An American in
Where's
Ireland?
exactly?
Who's ever heard of that idea before? He'll fit right in.
Have you found out any more about the murders?
Well, it may be nothing, but both the clan's victims visited Paris earlier this year.
When?
The second week of July. They were both here at the same time.
That was mentioned
Did
in
they
the
meet?
coded messages.
No, but I can't imagine it was coincidence.
But what if it was? It could have been a coincidence. You're just making
I have to
assumptions.
go.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah, we have to go to Ireland, Nico. We have to go to Ireland. While you get to sit in your apartment networking. Hey? Sit in your apartment networking. We're going to the airport. And we're going to Ireland. Loch Marn in Ireland. Is that a real place?
I passed the castle on the way into Loch Marn. The castle where Pegram's excavation was located.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a made-up place. There is a good reason why I asked that question, which is that Loch, the way that it was spelt there, is the kind of Scottish spelling. I'm pretty sure in Ireland it's L-O-U-G-H. So it feels like it's a made-up kind of place. I remember this guy because he's pretty funny. That traditional kind of cheeky chappy, you know. We're going to the pub first, and into the lounge. Although it says McDevitt's Food Lounge, it is a bar. It is a typical Irish pub. Well, we'll soon see. We'll walk in and we'll see how typical it is. There's not enough people in here. So what do we have? We have a man with glasses sitting at a table. Calmly. Looks like he's waiting for somebody almost. Let's speak to this man here in yellow.
My name's George.
Pleased to meet you, mister. My name's Fitzgerald.
Someone spilled some green beer over here.
What can you tell me about the castle?
There's nothing there. Just an old ruin.
How old?
I really couldn't tell you.
You couldn't tell us. You can't tell us. So you're like local to the area and you have no interest in your local history.
Have you ever explored the
That's
castle
atrocious.
yourself?
I used to play there sometimes. When I was a kid. Then one of the little ones fell off the wall, broke his head and died. We didn't go there anymore.
It's a good
You
way to
ever
end
been
a
up there
story,
recently?
just to shut us
No.
down. Guess he doesn't like the castle.
Do you know Professor Pegram?
He's the archaeologist, isn't he?
That's right.
He is the archaeologist. You are quite right, my friend. That's a great observation.
Did you work at Professor Pegram's dig?
What gave you that idea?
Well, I don't know. It was just a guess.
Can I get you another drink?
Oh, no, thank you. I shouldn't be drinking at all. I'm on tablets for my nerves. More than a pint and I'll pass out.
More than a pint and you'll pass out. Should we just get him like 2 pints? Really needs 2 pints.
Do you
Get him a half
recognize the
pint,
man
that'll
in
be
this
okay.
photograph?
No, I'm sure I don't know him.
You're sure you don't know him? What about this?
Check out this pass.
Thomas Merlin? No, never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Does this
Top of the
look
morning
anything
to you.
No,
Can't even do Irish that well. Would you like to shake my hand?
Shake my hand.
it's a trick, isn't it?
Damn it, you're right. I can't seem to fool anyone.
You give up too easily, George. That's why. Okay, I don't think we've got much more we can say to him. I don't think he'd be interested in clown's noses. Or, well, let's see what he thinks this is. Because some people thought it was some sort of dental tool.
What do you think this tool is used for?
Something to do with horses?
Of course.
Wrong.
He's got a horse
For
outside.
opening manhole covers.
Oh, really? Well, you learn something every day.
You don't always. Depends how much learning you've done.
See you later.
We'll speak now to this guy at the bar. See what kind of Irishman he is.
Hi, my name's Stobart. George Stobart.
Hello there, mister. What can I do for you?
You can answer some questions. And maybe I'll let you live.
Do you know Professor Pegram?
Do I know him? Do I know the good professor himself? No.
No.
I don't. I mean, I know who he is, but I don't know him to talk to.
Maybe you should get to know him.
Do you know anything about Pegram's excavation?
Only that he didn't have the right tools for the job. What he needed was shovels and a JCB.
Pegram was digging for historical remains, not coal.
That man in the corner sneezing, slightly disturbing.
It's the science of archaeology, Pat. Understand
Yeah, you don't use a JCB.
by what they've left behind.
Just get a bulldozer out and start digging.
Up our remains.
Imagine that, Mr. O'Brien. I wonder what they'll find.
Well, it won't be arrowheads and beakers. Fast food cartons and flavoured condoms, more like.
That sounds likely. Flavoured condoms. I'd forgotten that this game had that kind of conversation in it from time to time.
Did anyone from the village work at Pegram's dig?
I tried it myself, but that high and mighty history man called me incontinent.
I think he meant incompetent.
Hadn't I dug more holes than the rest of them put together?
You dug more holes, yes, but were you careful?
Do you remember seeing Sean Fitzgerald at the dig?
Let me see now. I think me brain box needs a spot of lube.
Aye, away with you. Away with your your trickery.
Can I buy you a drink?
You most certainly can.
Give me a drink for my friend here.
Who? Doyle? Has he conned you into buying for him?
Aye.
Shame on you, Patrick.
Same again. Just a point this time, Michael.
1 pint of brown coming up.
1 pint of brown. A pint of brown. So, again, now that I've lubricated you, did I say lubricated? Lubricated? My word. Let's ask again about the man at the table nearby.
Do you remember Sean Fitzgerald now?
I can picture the scene as if it was only last week. Come to think of it.
It was only last week.
Fitzgerald was there all right. Him and a bunch of students. He was speaking with the boss man.
You speaking with the boss man? Did you meet some hard times down in Cobb County, Georgia? That's a big boss man joke, in case
Can you tell me anything about the castle?
anyone has no idea what I was just talking
I don't
about.
know much about anything. You should ask Mr. O'Brien here. He just joined up right.
Who's the big boss man?
Would you
I'm
be
going to
one of
stop
them
now.
History fellas yourself.
Would I be one of them history fellas myself? Let's say no. I feel like I might get a better reaction from him by saying no.
Oh no, I'm here on vacation.
What's that?
A vacation, Pat. It's what the Americans call a holiday.
Oh, right. In Lochmarn? You come to Lochmarn for a holiday?
Sure, it's a very pretty place.
Well, why not?
Where the hell are you from, mister? California. I know it. That's where the brooms come
The
from.
California raisins.
Amongst other things.
Prunes and other things.
Bye for now.
You're an interesting man. What about your friend? Does he want a drink too?
Hello there. My name's George Stobart.
It's just me, or did he start with an Irish accent there? Hello there.
Can I help you?
I don't know, can you?
Do you know Sean Fitzgerald?
Yes, I do. What do you want with him?
I want to talk to him about working at the dig.
I can't imagine anyone employing Sean Fitzgerald on a dig.
But why not?
He wouldn't know a post hole from his elbow.
You're being polite. You can use whichever words you like there, my friend.
Have you ever heard of the Knights Templar?
I most certainly have. A remarkable institution. Did you know? They were the originators of our system of credit. Their financial empire stretched from the Atlantic to the Caspian Sea. With bases in so many countries, they had to establish new methods of fiscal transferal.
Is this what my life's come to? We're discussing fiscal transferal in an Irish pub.
Are you saying these Templar guys invented bank charges?
Yes. Yes.
I suppose they did.
What a dirty trick. Didn't anyone try to stop them?
They didn't. They walked right into it blindly.
And many were burnt at the stake.
Good.
I don't think it was for creating credit cards, though.
They were anything like my bank manager.
Burning your bank manager at the stake's a little extreme.
What can you tell me about the castle, Mr. O'Brien?
It's a fine sight now, isn't it? Dates back to the 10th century, you know. Most of the existing building was added much later.
He actually knows the history.
Are the ruins open to the public?
Oh no, it's much too dangerous. Anyway, there's nothing of interest remaining.
Everything's been stolen. Sold.
How can I get into the castle?
But those walls were built specifically to stop people getting in, Mr. Stobart. But I dare say you'll find a way, if you've the will.
If I have the will.
Can you tell me about the tripod which was found at the castle?
Oh, there's
No.
a bone of contention and controversy. It was dug up by an Englishman of the archaeological persuasion.
The French have it now.
This Englishman?
Professor Peaker, the same man who dug up the gem.
He dug up the gem.
Do you know where I can find
Pegram.
You're too late to meet that fella.
Is he dead?
Not that. But he's gone from the village. A sore point with our esteemed host, I might add.
He's gone. Gone, gone.
Do you know where Pegram is gone?
I'm sorry, but I don't.
He's gone to a better place.
In the dark and
That
shipped out
could be anywhere,
Why did he
but
do
he's
that?
gone to a better
Who knows?
place.
A guilty conscience or a secret assignation. Whatever the reason, he'll not be missed in Lochmar. Maybe now the fuss
Does he
about
not
the
bring
gem
money
is
into
dying
the
down.
area?
We can get back to now.
Interest. They don't like holidays.
What can you tell me about the gem which Pegram found?
Now there's a gem which should never have been taken. A man would have to be full of greed to covet that stone. What's
Well-
your interest in the jewel? You're not a reporter, are you?
I don't know, he probably likes reporters even less than historians.
Oh no. Thank the Lord for that.
Thank the Lord for that.
Why is Pegram's departure upset the landlord?
He's lost a paying guest. That's why.
Oh,
More than that. There's the question of
well, I'm
the
not paying
second
it.
bid. Poor Michael's seen red over the business, and I don't blame him.
He's cut and run. He's done a dine and dash, only it involves sleeping in his bed and dashing.
Can you tell me more about the landlord?
Nick Leary? He's what you call a would-be sophisticated. The trouble is, his idea of sophistication extends as far as putting paper in the lavatory.
Well,
It never worked out why he did
what do you put in
It's much
the
to
lavatory?
That's
Just
true.
out of interest.
Have you ever run your hand over the back of the door? The graffiti is written in Braille.
The graffiti in Braille. Yes. It's an interesting question about graffiti that I don't think's right for this time of day. Let's go and speak
Bye for
to
now.
the old man who's been sneezing away. We don't want to interrupt our musician friend quite yet. What's wrong with you? Got a doctor you can go
Hi
to?
there, old-timer.
What?
Said
Man,
hi
what
there.
cold you've got there. As soon as the words left my lips, I regretted them.
Is there such a thing as a cold which isn't nasty? I put the question to Father Mahone.
Did you?
Father, says I, why were we born to suffer snot?
What did he say?
He said, it's my reward for being out all night like a sinner, pious prig. Anyway, this is no ordinary cold. It is the hay fever.
Pollinosis?
Thank you. You're not a policeman, are you?
No.
Excuse me?
Police? No. I'd know it if you were.
Because you're a strange old man.
Can
you
I
like a
buy you
drink?
beer?
Very kind, I'm sure. But I don't drink the stuff Leary sells.
What's
Did you
wrong
bring
with it?
your own?
I've seen what it can do.
It can turn people into flying leprechauns.
Can you tell me how to get into the castle?
Don't even think about it, me bucko. Lochbarn Castle is haunted.
Yeah, but that
Ghosts
doesn't
don't bother me.
change the question
I
of
still want to visit
how
that
do I
castle.
get in?
You can't. It's not open to the public.
There's no one around to stop me, is there?
Well,
That's right. Nothing human.
only the
anyhow.
ghosts. Oh no, I'm so scared of the ghosts.
Have you ever seen the ghost?
To be sure. With me very own eyes.
Can you describe the ghost?
It was horrible. A wee stunted beast.
A wee
long
stunted beastie.
beak, Straggly, flappy wings.
Are you sure it wasn't a wild animal? A rabbit or a skunk or something?
Skunk. In Lochmar?
Skunk in Lochmarn.
No. That was a ghost.
That just
to be
gives me
sure.
other conclusions. There's no skunk in Lochmarn, guys. Don't go to Lochmarn if you're that way inclined. No skunk in Lochmarn.
Do you know Pegram the archaeologist?
That's the scrawny fellow who was poking around.
Maybe they
with
like it
cats,
purer.
isn't it? No, I don't know him.
But you know who he is. Why are you playing with this?
What's that you're making?
It's a necklace, me bucko.
Oh, sure. Made out of steel wire?
That's right. A necklace for my pretty one.
Oh my
When
goodness.
my little lover feels it round her slender neck, she'll be mine. All mine.
That's disturbing. That's brutally disturbing.
I'll see you later.
You're a strange old man. Take that. Oh no. Take that piece of wire so it doesn't strangle someone with it. Come on, put it back. Put it down again. Now he's distracted. Now I wonder if he'll sneeze again. Or if he's just gonna sit there looking down solemnly. Come on, you got hay fever. What, suddenly you haven't? Come on. Sneeze again. Sneeze for me. Take it.
As soon as the old guy looked away, I grabbed this piece of wire.
You're not going to be strangling any women and taking them back to your lair, you horrible old man. Let's have the towel. It's not green beer. It's of course a beer mat.
It was a beer-stained piece of toweling.
Perfect. We can wring it out into our mouth because we can't afford a pint. So yeah, this guy's quite funny. He looks like your regular cheeky little Irishman, doesn't he? Let's have a word.
Hi there.
What?
What's your name, kid?
Who are you calling kid? Who the hell are you?
That's not nice.
I'm George Stobart, and I'm with the good guys.
You're a head case, mister. A few sandwiches short of the picnic.
Cut the
A
crap
few?
and tell me your name.
I think he's a
Liam
picnic short of a
McGuire.
picnic.
What are you doing
Liam.
hanging around the bar, McGuire?
I'm
An
on the
entire
run
picnic short of a
from me
picnic.
dad.
Why? Did you do something bad?
I ain't done nothing, boss.
You can tell me, kid. Is it your dad?
Oh, sir.
He drinks.
Every last penny down his evil throat. And there's me poor old mother, bedridden and dying of presumption. I tried
What's
to
she been
buy her
presuming?
medicine.
Maybe she should
Shocked
stop
oil
presuming.
with the
Presumption's
bad
bad
rotten
for you.
me fingers
You end up in
bled,
bed
old skinflint
with
cheese
presumption.
me too. But I took the pennies he gave me back home. Look, Ma, says I. See what your darling son has earned with his
He stole
own
it, come
sweat
on.
and blood. When suddenly, me dad appears and grabs the loot. I'm off to Dublin, heavy drinking, says he. Watch out till I get back. That's
Watch
why I'm
out till I get back.
Something in the grin on his face told me he wasn't being strictly true.
Ah, he's got the gift of the
Compared
gab.
to him, Huckleberry Finn was a candidate for Altar Boy of the Year.
Yeah. Sounds about right. But he might know how to get into the castle. He seems the kind of guy who likes to sneak around.
Do you know anything about Peagram's Dig?
He wouldn't let me anywhere near it. I offered to help, but he chased me off. I didn't want to see his smelly old hole anyhow.
Guys, no. He didn't want to see Peagram's smelly old hole. That's disturbing in more ways than just that.
Did anyone from the village work at the dig?
Pegram brought some students and bums with him. He reckoned no one in Lochmarn would know what to look for. The only
you
local
could tell
guy
them.
who worked for him was Sean Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald says he's never been anywhere near the dig.
He's
He's a
having you on, mister.
liar. Wasn't that obvious from the very beginning?
What can you tell me about the castle, McGuire?
What do you want to know?
Well, can I get inside?
No, it's locked up.
Does anyone live there?
No. Only,
It's a ruin.
what do you want to know? Oh, nothing.
You know something about the castle you're not telling me, don't you?
No.
There's a ghost.
What is it you're covering up? Is it something you're scared of?
I ain't scared of nothing.
But you are, though.
I'll give you one last chance to tell me about the castle.
Oh, yeah? And what if I don't?
And I'm taking you back to school.
Oh, there's a ghost. It's
There's
called
a
the Phantom
ghost.
of Loch Man.
Come on. Be serious, guys.
You're not telling me you believe in ghosts, are you?
Mister, I seen it with me very own eyes.
I ain't afraid of no
last
ghost.
Tuesday night. I went up to see what that dig was about.
It's just to
I
scare
just
you
reached
away.
the top of the wall when I hears this awful noise.
What sort of noise?
It was like...
Horrible snuffling and snorting. Like O'Brien's pig, only worst. It was coming from inside the castle.
The phone call was coming from inside the castle.
Did you find out what was making the noise in the castle?
No fear. I just sat there on the wall like Humpty Dumpty. The moon was cracked and greasy like an old dinner plate. The yard was full of shadows. I could have been hiding anything. I would have gone home, but my legs had lost their stuffing.
He was terrified, is what he means to say. He was terrified.
Did you get to see the ghost?
Indeed I did. And a fearsome sight it is too.
15 feet tall.
Waited while the moon went down. Then out it comes.
With eyes
the
like
shadows,
fire.
all grey and tattered and hunched over like an old bent willow. Then I hears this spluttering and splashing and horrible laughter in the dark. I was so scared.
Seems
Oh,
like
I
you just
fell off
heard
the
some
bloody
people
wall.
walking around. There's an awful lot of questions about this ghost. Really?
I'm sure there's a rational explanation for what you saw at the castle.
Of course there is.
The bloody place is haunted.
That's not rational now, come on.
Have you seen a guy dressed as a clown?
Here in Lochmarn, they all
The-
dress like clowns.
The man I'm looking for is a dangerous psychotic.
That doesn't help.
Jesus. It's just like that film I saw. There's this clown, see? And he's after this kid who saw
Are you
him
talking
kill a
about
guy. He tries
it?
to warn the sheriff, only no one believes him. Then, while he's in the tub,
No.
the clown cuts him up with a chainsaw.
My God.
Sounds a little
That
extreme.
doesn't sound suitable for a kid like you.
Who are you
Can you tell me
calling
what
a
it's
kid?
called?
I'm 25.
Yeah, right. You're not a day over 14.
Oh no, it's 25 that I am. Married with a car and 3 kids. 10 kids if you count the wives.
Well... so she's got 7 of her own. And 3 with you. And you're only 25. How old's your wife?
Do you know a man called Pegram?
Can you describe him like on the telly in the cop shows?
He's an English archaeologist.
I know the man you mean if he's the one.
You know the man I mean, if he's the one. Do you know many English archaeologists?
Can you tell me where I'd find Pegram?
No, I can't, because he's not here now. But if I sees him, I'll ask him.
If you see him, you'll ask him where we are.
Do you know
Brings
what
to mind a lot of
Pegram's doing
Irish
in the castle?
jokes, which,
Digging for buried
to be honest,
treasure,
are
jewels and
probably
gold
offensive
and
to people.
skeletons, like in the films.
But you probably find a lot of Irish people know how to laugh at them, but some other people might not find it so funny.
What do you make of this, kid?
Hey, that's one of Leary's towels. He'll skin you alive.
Well, I better get it
That
back
old
inside
windbag
then.
doesn't scare me. Anyhow, I'm only borrowing it.
You're pretty cool, mister. For an old guy.
Excuse me?
See you later, kid.
Okay,
So
mister.
now we know that Sean Fitzgerald has been lying to us. He said he didn't work at the dig. He's a lying liar.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
A lying old liar. What a liar.
Doyle told me you definitely worked at the dig. He's seen you there. You might as well admit it.
I knew this would happen. I knew I'd get caught.
I need to talk to Professor Pegram, if he's still alive.
What do you mean? Is he in danger?
Yeah.
Could be.
You too, if I'm right.
You're not from the Social Security.
He's in
no.
danger
What
from
makes
you
you think
too.
that?
Well,
Aren't
I was
we
claiming
all?
benefit at the same time I was working for Pegram.
I'm not in a position to make judgments, Sean.
That's atrocious,
between
Sean.
you and your conscience.
I can judge
All
you.
I
He
want
might
is to
not.
talk to Pegram about the gem.
But he's not
You
here.
I know
benefit
that.
scrounger.
But he left that package with you, didn't he?
I'll be having it. Let's be having it.
So where did Pegram go?
I don't know. I swear it. He came to see me early this morning. Said he was leaving.
He was leaving
He asked me to give this package
on
to
a
guy
jet
called
plane. He let you hold on to his package for good measure.
Show me what's in the package, Sean.
Come on.
I can't do that.
Go in the bathroom and you show me your
I
package,
promised the
Sean.
professor.
So what? You didn't have any qualms about your benefit scam. So where's the harm in taking a peek inside Pegram's
Come
package?
on.
You don't know these people.
Let's
I
peek at
can't.
Pegram's
I
package.
don't
Try
dare.
saying that 3 times fast, guys. Come on. I'm not scared. Who are you? What are you so scared of? He's not even here.
This is your last chance to show me the package, Fitzgerald. I've been patient with you, but now it's time to kick ass.
But he'll kill me.
Who will?
So I.
Jack Marquet. Pegram told me if I gave him the package,
Jacques
unopened,
Marquet?
I'd hear no more about it. But if I double-crossed Marquet, I'd be dead.
Will you just give me that package? And I'll pretend that I found it.
I'll deal with Jacques Marquet. Give the package to me.
No.
Hand it over.
Why should I trust you? I don't know who to trust anymore. I wish I'd never even heard
You can
of
trust
the
me.
Lochmarn
I'm only
gem.
trying to force you to give me something that you're scared to your wits' end about. Oh, what happened?
Hey, I just seen a big red.
Get out of here, Maguire. Come back when you're old enough.
What's the lad howling about?
A big red.
So no one else heard that noise.
John Fitzgerald's been run.
Do you think it was some kind of mass hysteria?
Noisy little tyke.
Maybe you should send out some medicinal brandy maker.
Oh, yes. And who's going to pay for it?
Not me.
Me too, neither.
You two neither. Well, let's have a look. I'm not going to take out any brandy, but we'll have a look and see.
I was telling the truth about Fitzy, mister.
Okay, calm down. Now tell me what happened.
I was standing here, minding me own
Oh yeah, I'm sure he knows how to
business, and I
mind his
saw
own
this
business.
Beautiful red sports car coming up over the hill. Would you look at that?
Oh
says
wow!
I. And I going over to take a closer look. Next thing, Fitzy comes tearing out of the pub and nearly knocks me on the ass.
No!
With the car just
It's like a
flying
Ferrari.
backwards. It was
That
too fast for
Testarossa.
poor old Fitzy, and hit him an awful wallop. He goes
That's an old school
flying up
Ferrari,
off the
guys.
top. Jesus, says I thought he was a goner. Next thing, the driver hops out.
It's driven by a
And I couldn't
leprechaun.
believe my eyes.
Was it driven by a
He
leprechaun?
was dressed like a bloody pixie.
It's a leprechaun. I'm the leprechaun. It's obviously the costume killer. Question is, did he get the...
Hey, Maguire,
What?
did this pixie have a scar on his cheek?
I couldn't see. He was wearing a stupid mask. Are you a special agent?
Yes,
Sorry to disappoint you, kid, but I'm not.
he's a special something.
Did Fitzgerald drop anything when he was hit?
I didn't see.
Only his
It all
guts all over
happened
the
so
floor.
Maybe the package fell somewhere out of sight.
Maybe his package fell somewhere outside. Hey kid,
Give me your hand.
shake my hand.
Get lost.
Oh, come on. I just want to show you a little trick.
No way, mister. I don't do tricks. Father Mahoney told me I'd burn in hell if I did.
I
That's
just
a
wanna
bit
shake your
extreme.
hand, that's all.
No way.
No way. He doesn't want
See
to
you later,
shake our
kid.
hand.
Okay, mister.
So we got some things to look at around here now. Like this little box.
I pushed the switch down, but in doing so, it snapped off in my hand.
He snapped it off in his hand. He snapped it off in his hand. So, we're going to talk to the barman now. It seems that he might be useful to talk to.
Top of the morning to you.
Oh God.
I beg your pardon.
Well, that's what you Irish say.
No.
Do you want something? Or are you just flaunting your xenophobia?
Well, I was trying to be sociable.
Ugh.
Is it a room you're after?
Don't. Is it a room that I'm after? No.
No, thank you. I don't plan to stay too long.
Who does? Most folk take one look at Lochmarden and jump back on the bus.
Get back on the bus. Okay, tell me about clowns.
Have you served any,
That's a silly
clowns
question.
recently?
No. You're today.
Excuse me. That was just the perfect setup, wasn't it? Just the perfect setup.
Do you know a man called Pegram?
Indeed I do. Are you a friend
Indeed
of
I do.
by any chance?
Oh no. I'm just trying to track him down.
Me too. That son of a bitch should be locked away.
Only because he can't run on his...
Yes, he did. 6 nights plus breakfast.
I'll try a glass of beer, please.
Is this your first pint of real ale?
Of course it is.
I guess so. What's real ale, anyhow?
Beer that's brewed from natural ingredients to traditional methods.
Well, he's definitely never had that then.
Kept under pressure or refrigerated.
Everyone knows what American
And
beers
finally,
taste like.
It should have a good body and distinctive character.
Some of them taste very good.
In other words, it's flat and worn with bits in, and it makes you fall over. I'm sorry, but the pump appears to be broken.
I could fix it for you.
I don't think so. This is a job for a professional electrician.
Well, I'm a professional electrician. Honest.
It's not my dear, is it?
It's not your day. No, not really. Not really. But I've got a secret. I am an electrician.
Just so happens I'm an electrician. Check out my credentials.
I just have a French name.
Isn't that marvelous? Here's a house bedeviled with faulty wires.
Oh, you're done now.
With nature. Here's you, an electric man, with a little plastic card to prove it. I still want to see what you can do before I let you touch me beer pumps. You can make a start on the glass washer.
I can. I will start on your glass dishwasher thing.
When you finish that, will you take a look at the pumps?
Yes. I will take a look at your pumps. It's not an innuendo, is it though?
I couldn't see anything obviously wrong with the machine. I figured it must be the wiring.
So we need to use some wiring then. Here's a wire. Here's a dishwasher. And it doesn't go in the dishwasher. It of course goes in the plug.
I replaced the fuse with a piece of wire.
I replaced the fuse with some wire.
I was desperate enough to disregard everything I knew about standard safety precautions. Excuse me, Mr.
Probably
Leary.
found a
I fixed
fuse.
your glass washer, no problem.
Bingo! And a blessing to all the saints. A free half pint to that man on the house. Now, could you take a look at the beer pumps?
Well, I guess so, but I'm not making any promises.
If you can't fix them, I'll have a riot on my hands.
The pumps are in the cellar, right?
That's a good point. I think the bar, the local bar, is like the centre of any Irish village. Let's go down to the basement. Let's pull this little handle. Maybe give us some light.
I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen.
We can't see anything in here right now. It's very dark. And there's a little hatch just outside. We go outside, we've got the grating here, which is where the kegs of beer and ale are dropped. If we open them up, can we just go down there?
And an overpowering smell of stale beer rose from the cellar below. I looked down on a stone-tiled floor, way too far to jump.
It's not that far. Oh.
Excuse me.
There was a nasty feeling
It's Merlin.
in my guts I usually associated with light opera. It was Khan. What's the problem?
Did you see what happened here a few minutes ago?
What was that?
A man was involved in an unfortunate accident.
Accident. Let's do that with air quotes.
He doesn't know anything
Accident.
either. The kid, well, you know how it is in these rural communities. Not enough jeans to go round?
They're all wearing
McGuire had the
jeans.
sense to keep his mouth shut. Was the guy hurt
That's a
bad?
terrible dad
He's been
joke.
taken care of, but he thinks he dropped a small parcel. You didn't happen to find it, did you?
Nope.
If I had, I would have taken it to the police.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, master. Thank you. It's an interesting voice. Let's go back to the basement. We'll have thrown some
Now I
light
can
on the
see.
subject.
I spotted
You
Mr.
see?
Leary's flashlight easily. Then I noticed a flash of light. Something sparkling beneath the open trapdoor.
Is this Pilgrim's Gem?
It was Pilgrim's Gem, all
It
right.
is. Pilgrim's
A large,
Gem.
uncut blue stone. I guess I was already under its spell.
Did you find it?
What?
Whatever you was looking for.
Yeah. Listen, McGuire, I want you to keep this to yourself.
No problemo. Just chuck it
I
in a crate
don't
lager.
think
No
so.
way, you're not old enough.
We can sell it.
No
and make some
lager
cash.
for you.
Forget it, kid. I couldn't betray Mr. Leary's trust.
Didn't you already do that?
For sure, that old misery guts deserves it.
If you want to do me a favor, keep a lookout for that guy in the suit.
Okay. But it'll cost you a packet of chips.
Oh, and shout if you see that Ferrari.
Shout if you see the Ferrari. So what's going on with the pumps, though?
The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of
It's off the
rusty
hillside.
colored
That's
water.
why it's so rusty. That's about all we can actually do. So we can't fix his pumps. I'm sorry. We're no good at fixing pumps. But we are good at getting the hell out of here. We'll take this path. And we'll meet another person. On a tractor trailer. That's very, very overpiled with hay, by the way. That's way too much hay for that trailer. Let's have a quick word with him. He's reading a book and lounging in the hay.
Hi, do you speak English?
Well, no. What if I was to say no? An implication of cognizance shrouded in denial. A pretty
We can hear you
boulder of
speaking English.
paradox indeed.
I gave him the look I'd perfected when I was 12 and was going to be the greatest hypnotist of all time. It was a killer.
Are you attempting to hypnotize me, or is it the constipation you're
It,
suffering?
I was
it probably
allowed
is the
practice.
constipation. A great deal of constipation George has. Hey, is this the
Can
castle?
you tell me about the castle?
Not much, I'm sorry to say. Most of its history is long forgotten. But if these old stones could only speak, what stories they'd tell. Stories to make your toes curl and your blood run cold. You know, this castle is said to be over 600 years old.
Wow.
Have you seen Professor Pegram?
No, he's packed up and gone.
Buggered
Do you
off.
happen to know where?
Back in England, I suppose.
He's gone back to England. Have you seen a Ferrari? In real life, not in like newspapers or...
Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of red on the hill and heard the racket. Sure, it was an awful noise. A sports car.
Poetry.
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car. And what was it doing here? A poor fellow
Driving
must have been
fast.
lost.
He might have been. Or he might have been here on purpose.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Is that so?
Yeah, he knocked somebody down outside
Accident. I'm heavily using air quotes on
How could a thing like
accident,
that
guys.
the bar. He was traveling too fast.
So fast, he ran right under the car.
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
Yeah, but... That would be rational.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart. Was he killed by the car?
Oh no, but he has been abducted.
Well,
That's a relief. Is it a relief that he's alive, or a relief that he's been abducted and you don't have to deal with him anymore?
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
what for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to the police.
Better not.
Besides, what could they do?
Well, they could mount a search.
They have only the one bicycle between them. In a question of
Only the one
acceleration,
bicycle.
I put me money on the Ferrari.
That would be an interesting race though, for about half a second.
Exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle. His own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral
That's a pretty big hint, isn't it?
Stay here and guard this potentially...
I'll guard it for you.
...construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said...
You give him a piece of your mind.
I'm thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
How about I just look after the haystack for you?
Don't have to demolish the haystack to go look for Sean. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly.
That's you warn George. I'll warn George. Don't worry. I'm going to warn George for you. Because he might not be entirely of sound mind and judgment right now.
He strode off in the direction of McDevitt's barn, leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay.
Let's go. Can we climb
Stack
it?
of hay stopped, short of the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach. What I needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland.
Eat or drink. Well, that could be a... That's like a metal tool. Maybe we can lodge that in it.
I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm
Okay.
shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step.
You call it a step. It's like a...
I tugged at the lifting key and found it was...
It's not really a
quite
step,
secure.
is it? It's a rung of some kind of ladder. But it did give me enough ability to climb. Oh no. Guys, there's a goat here. There's a goat. It looks moderately like the devil. The devil's plaything. And we have a ladder going down. Let's go. Oh no! When did we start playing Goat Simulator? I guess the goat doesn't want me going down that ladder. Can we do anything to stop this goat? There's not much that we can kind of do. Let's have a look at this. Come on, George, what have you done? Oh.
The rope by which the goat was tethered had become tangled on the old plowshare.
Guess what, Mr. Goat? You're not going anywhere now. No goat simulations for you. And now we're going down this ladder that you wouldn't let us go near. So screw you, goat. Screw you. Not literally. Down we go into the dark, shadowy, underground location. Ooh. Now this is an interesting looking place. So we've got, looks like a doorway, some tools, and what's this?
I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. What's this? Oh, it's a knight kneeling in prayer. A Templar knight, perhaps, because it does look a bit like a kind of Templar cross. Oh, look, and he's got 5 little things on his back.
The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand.
Ah. Can I pick it back up? Can I pick the statue up? I think it's laying there like that for many a year.
As I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern of holes in the sand.
Oh.
The 5 fingers on the back of the statue had left their impressions in the fine sand.
wasn't that interesting. We needed something we could stick our fingers in before. And that didn't work, but now we've got like 5 holes. What have we got over here?
As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized
cocaine!
It was plaster of Paris.
Oh.
I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints.
I thought it was going to be exciting for a moment there. You know, plaster of Paris will work. You use that to like cast shapes, don't you? But I don't need like to mix it with, say, water or something. Looks like a ghost. It's a small plaster ghost. It was the goat that they were thinking was a ghost, wasn't it? They were almost right. It was a ghost. It was no. It was no. It was. It was a goat. But we need water then. Oh, the bar in the basement of the pub, it had a sink, didn't it, with a basin with taps. So let's try. Can we carry some water all the way back here? How do we get out of this area? Exit stage right. Yeah, there's some water down, like under there. Hey guys, still haven't started a fire in your bar then. Do I have like a container?
I shut off the faucet as tight as I could, but it kept on dripping.
No, turn it back on.
The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of rusty-colored water.
Well, we don't have like a container, but we do have a beer mat that we can maybe contain some liquid in if we soak it up. So then we're going to collect any liquid.
I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water.
So now we go back. We're going to go back upstairs. We're going to go back to the castle grounds. And we're going to use our plaster mix to get us further into the world of Broken Sword. We're drawing our evening to a close now, guys. I hope you've enjoyed everything we've done so far. I hope I've been, if not interesting, at least moderately entertaining. If you have enjoyed the stream, drop us a like, drop us a follow if you feel like it. We'll also be uploading to YouTube after the video has completed. We're gonna try and clear this section of the game. So this wet beer mat, we're going to rub it in the plaster, or wring it out in the plaster, I guess. And that'll make it wet.
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster.
So there we go, we have a plaster cast.
I eased the solid piece of plaster from the center.
And it's rock solid within seconds.
It had formed a perfect
quick drying plaster of Paris. So, presumably, this now goes in that wall.
The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud.
And then all was silent.
Silence.
So yeah, we'll be up on YouTube at Supernautus Streams. Short time after this, we'll get the video uploaded just as soon as we finish streaming. We'll do just that. So yeah, Supernautus Streams for the YouTube videos if you prefer to watch me on YouTube. Stick with it here on mixer.com/Supernautus. Look for Supernautus to make it a little bit quicker. We're on Twitter as Supernautus and we're on Facebook as Supernautus Streams. Drop a like on all of those things. And now that we're back with Nico, what better time to save our game and finish up for the night. So we'll save, We'll save. And with us reaching a further percentage into the game. What percentage in are we? We're 44% through. Not that that's that very interesting. But yeah, guys, so that's the end of my stream for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you'll pass some notice on to your friends, your family, whoever you like. Let them know that we're streaming. Let them know if I'm good. I hope I am. Or I hope I'll get that way one day. That sounds a bit desperate, I'm sorry. Anyway, good night, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. I've got a bit more time tomorrow. As I say, I was working all day today. I'm not working tomorrow, so should be able to get a couple of streams under my belt tomorrow rather than just the one that we got today. But, you know, hope you've enjoyed. Hope you'll enjoy the rest. And thank you. I'll see you guys later.